And what a lot of people don't understand is that the Nation of Islam, even at the time of Malcolm X, rahimahullah, it had its transitions, right?
Right.
It had its changes. And since Louis Farrakhan he took over the Nation of Islam, what he basically restarted the Nation of Islam, right? But it wasn't the same Nation of Islam as Elijah Muhammad, even when he restarted it,
Right.
right? And even throughout his lifetime, you could say there's like even three major transitions in terms of the way that he puts out his lectures and his information and whatnot, right? So we had his pre 1994 transition where he was, basically saying the white man's the devil, all that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
And then after 1994, he ordered all his ministers to stop using that language. We're not going to call the white man the devil anymore in the lectures and whatnot. And he has since done that since 1994, right? And that's the second. And then he had his third transition after his, when he got poisoned by the Mossad or whatever, right? And
Mhm.
then he started getting really into the Scientology stuff, and his lectures started looking more like the church, right? It was like
Right.
more, right? And this is his latest kind of thing where his lectures are really churchy and Baptist minister like and whatnot, right?
Mhm.
So the point is that the Nation of Islam itself has all of its transitions. However, in the early stages of the nation, right, when people were making dawah to people in the Nation of Islam, they were making dawah like a real type of dawah, as of compared to a whole like a couple of decades where you couldn't mention a Nation of Islam without refuting them, right? You understand? And
Mhm.
this is from other folks, right? Other folks talking about nation and just their whole approach to nation is just to refute, not to make dawah, but to refute.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you mentioned about Imam Warithin Muhammad, right? And you talked about the transition, right? And the whole point is that people don't realize that the largest transition or mass conversion of people into Sunni Islam in recorded history happened with Imam Warithin Muhammad, right?
Right.
He brought them from that Nation of Islam into actual traditional Sunni Islam. And how did he do it? With dawah.
Right.
He didn't do it with no refutation. And I have yet to listen to a lecture of Imam Warithin where he just refuting people. I never heard him do that.
Right.
Right?
That wasn't his way.